Hi, Gordon here with another edition of the Unscripted Series. I was asked recently if I could talk about other builders, non-ukulele builders, who have provided us inspiration. And I thought that's a pretty interesting topic to touch on. We are provided inspiration in a number of dimensions. Some of them are in terms of the design, some are in terms of our building practices, some are in terms of their relationship with owners. And very early on, I mean at the very beginning, before most of you, maybe before any of you, knew about Maiamoe and knew about us, I said to Shar, someday I would like Maiamoe to be some intersection of National Resophonics, Collings guitars, and Benedetto guitars. And the reason is that, I think that National has just this incredible loyalty. I mean, that company has been through ups and downs, but players love their instruments. So they have great customer loyalty. I think that Collings has an incredible reputation for its quality and its consistency. They've got great relationships with their dealers. Early on, we thought we'd be dealing with a lot of music dealers. So Collings kind of sprung to mind in that regard. But I think if there's one company that has given me personally a lot of inspiration, it's Benedetto. Early on, many of you know, I built guitars and 23 non-ukulele instruments. One mountain dulcimer. There were, in the end, 4 F-type mandolins. There was one 12-string steel string guitar. There was one classical guitar. The rest were flat-top steel string guitars, except I built one Benedetto replica carved archtop guitar. And it's a lot of work, and with that, a lot of enjoyment. And I really got a lot of satisfaction out of building that instrument. And to do it, I bought Robert Benedetto's book and set of DVDs and watched them over and over and over again. And I think that his ear and his approach toward the organic nature of voicing an instrument, and then his building practices, all had a big impact on me. Every time I sand the binding back on an instrument, every time I think of Bob Benedetto and his DVD and showing how he sanded the binding on a large, a large floor sander. And so he taught me that, but just taught me a lot more about the techniques to build an instrument with great tone, great playability, but great quality and consistency. So I think there was a ton of inspiration there. We went to visit Don Young, who owns National Resophonics, and Don is a great guy I can't say enough about. He owns one of our resonators, which I think speaks a lot to have a competitor who owns and outwardly owns and shows another instrument. And to this day, I can call up Don and ask for advice, and I do, and I have. Another one is Martin Guitars. I really respect what they've done and the way they've done it, and had the pleasure of going to Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and before I got into ukuleles, and touring that facility, and still think of that tour and how they do things, and what about, and I don't take anything away from what they do. For the volume and price point they're at, I wouldn't know how to do it any better. But there are things I thought, I don't want to do it that way. I don't want to be that company. And so we've derived a lot of inspiration from them as well. And, I think that lately, of course, being entirely focused on ukuleles, we derive inspiration from other ukulele builders. The builders are a very open community. People comment, other builders will comment on these unscripted videos. And I have a lot of respect and regard for the other builders in the ukulele community, because I think in general they're a bunch of people that strive to be great and to do, put out a great instrument. And I think that's one of the reasons why the ukulele community itself is lucky and doing well, because there are builders that are just always striving, instead of beating each other. Oh, I want to get that sale, or I want to beat out that other person. That's not their competition. I think each builder that I've met and talked with has their own internal bar that they're pushing higher and higher, and that's very inspiring as well. With that, I will see you next week with another edition of the Unscripted Series.